Hi, thanks for checking out today's update. Can I read you a verse that's like, I don't know, a little weird, but I was reading it the other day and I thought of us and I thought, this is kind of an interesting idea. So it's Jesus speaking, which is cool. And if you want to know where it is, it's in Matthew 24. If you want to know what that's called in like Bible teaching land, it's called the Olivet Discourse because it was given on the Mount of Olives. And it's kind of trippy and it's about some future time. And there's, of course, like with everything else, there's debates and disagreement about exactly what he's referring to. But Jesus says this, "For the coming of the Son of Man will be like the days of Noah. For in those days before the flood, they were eating and drinking and marrying and giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered the ark." Thud, cue the music. Dun, dun, dun. Right? So here's the thought that I just couldn't help but, I don't know, being overtaken by earlier this week. Not that, this is some, here's a big word for it, eschatological season that we're in. Who knows? I mean, those things are pretty hard to figure out and read impossible to figure out. But here's what this is saying that I think is a lesson that we don't want to let go of, even when we're all the way through all the stuff that we're going through right now. And it's this: Jesus said that there's a coming time of shaking and of disruption and of, you could even use the word cataclysm, that's going to be a lot like this other time the Bible records about the flood, the Genesis flood. You can read about that in Genesis chapter 6 if you want, where Noah and the ark and all that stuff, right? And Jesus says, just like in those days, they were eating and drinking and marrying and giving in marriage. In other words, they were just doing life. And here's one of the things, that I know in the Ask Ed, sessions we've had and different, comments on social media and different questions I've had is about like, well, man, what is God saying? What is God trying to say to us? And here's one thing that I know for sure that God is saying to you and to me. And it's this. I'm quoting God now. I'm pretty sure he's saying this: trust me. Not trust me, Ed. God is saying to us, trust me. The reason I'm sure of that is because God is always saying to us, trust me. Trust me. One of the things, sometimes people who follow Jesus, in some circles, they're called believers. Believe, trust, those are the same word in the Bible. And so we are trusters. We are people that trust Jesus. And here's the lesson, is that in times of shaking, we learn something that is really hard to learn when everything is smooth and normal and predictable. And that's this: in the end, trusting God is the only smart thing. In the end, God is the only one that really ultimately can be trusted. Let's not waste this time to realize the normal stuff that we used to take for granted: eating and drinking, going to restaurants, hanging out with friends, going to weddings, going to services. In those times, it's easy to delude ourselves that it would be a good idea to trust God. But what we're learning now is, man, it's the only idea. So let's just listen to what God is saying to us. Ready? Here it is. Trust me. God is saying to us, trust me. Let's do that. Let's do that together. Our trust is not in anything or anyone or any institution or any leader. Let's together trust God.